Yes. Welcome back to Extreme. It's a new week and it's upon us, bro. It is D-Day week this week. So we'll have a lot of content tailored towards Arsenal and all that stuff coming for you this week. However, it's transfer news. We could never escape transfer news, especially towards this end of the season. And for once, we're talking about Kyle Walker.
Yeah, and for fans of Kyle Walker, it's not looking good, Briv, to be honest with you. It's kind of mad, really, because we did a video on this, 2-3 weeks ago, speaking about the future of Kyle Walker, and it's the rumours coming out. It's not looking good. I'll get into exactly what's come out in just a second. Before we do, make sure you guys have smashed a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Let's get those likes past 75. Hit that thumbs up button, man. Over 150 people in here right now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, guys, because we're trying to get to 75,000 subscribers and we're 1.5k away. So hopefully very, very soon we'll get to 75k. But yeah, basically last night it came out that Mike McGrath, who's at the Daily Telegraph, said AC Milan hold interest in Kyle Walker. They're looking at his situation. Obviously, Kyle Walker, just for people who are not aware, he only has 1 year left on his contract. So, obviously, his time at City could be coming to an end unless we get a new contract done. And yeah, he came out and said that AC Milan hold an interest in Kyle Walker. Then, a few hours later, Martin Blackburn, who is a pretty good source when it comes to Manchester City, says, so far, there has been no indication that Kyle Walker is going to be offered a new Manchester City contract. With only 1 year remaining on his existing deal, AC Milan hope to see if he could be tempted this summer. So that's two separate sources from two different papers in the UK, both saying that AC Milan are in for Kyle Walker. And Martin Blackburn also says that Kyle Walker's not, well, he doesn't say he's not, but he says there's been no indication that Walker is going to be offered a new contract. So we're in a situation where he's only got 1 year left on his deal, and it's at the moment still not offered him a new contract. And now clubs in Europe are starting to circle, you know what I mean? Because they're looking at the situation and going, he's probably still the best defensive right back in Europe. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. He's 32, 33. You're probably going to be able to get him for a decent price. You know, there's a situation here where Kyle Walker could leave in the summer.
It's a weird one for me. It's I don't like it. But at this moment in time, we're not playing with fullbacks. Now, if Pep wants to double down and stick to this system of no fullbacks, we pretty much just play with centre backs now, don't we? With three at the back. We've been dealing well without Kyle Walker recently. It kind of stinks this because it's not a situation that I thought I'd be in. And you're looking at two good sources in Mike McGrath and then Martin Blackburn. They're both mentioning AC Milan. But and then obviously Martin Blackburn coming out and saying that there's no indication of a new deal for Walker as of yet. It seems I just find it a bit weird that City would be willing to cut ties with Kyle, just allow it. Do you know what I mean? Just be like, yeah, no worries. Because he's been in for Kyle Walker. He's been incredible for us. And, you know, we know he can put in a shift. Now, I don't know, innit? All I can think is maybe City just doubling down on this no fullback system, so he's not going to get that much game time.
Yeah, maybe they are. I think it could be a mistake though, letting him go, unless he wants to go, of course, which we don't know. He might want to go. I think this is a mistake. I still think that Kyle Walker is a top player.
His quality.
He's maybe not been as good this year, but he's had some injury issues that he's had to deal with over the last sort of 18 months. Not major issues, but they've just kept him out and been a little bit like niggly injuries, but you know, it's not allowing him to get into full form. I still believe that he could play in the Akanji role. Maybe not as good as Akanji in terms of on the ball and progressing the ball up the pitch, but you know, so long as he's happy with the rotational element. I mean, how old is he now? I've got his age here. He's 32, right? He'll be 33 in May. So, I mean, it is natural that at that sort of age, you maybe would see a slight decline in game time. So unless he believes that he could go somewhere else and play every game, which to be fair, he probably could. If he goes to AC Milan, I'm pretty sure he could play every game there. Yeah. But he's still going to play a lot of football matches for Manchester City, right? Especially if he stays fit. But it's kind of a strange one because if you look at you look at his minutes, he's played similar amount of minutes to Laporte. Now look at the difference.
Yeah.
Speak about Laporte and the way that we speak about Kyle Walker. With Laporte, we're all adamant that he's going. We're all like, yeah, guy never plays, he's going. But with Kyle Walker, it's different.
I would say we can't, like, Laporte should be playing in the basis of, like, even in this system that we have, Laporte should have been playing. I think with Kyle Walker, we can understand more as to why Kyle Walker isn't playing because of the situation with this system, and us not really having a right back in the side. So I can understand more, but like you say, the minutes being very similar. Maybe even Kyle Walker's looking at going, do you know what I mean? I want to play more game time, and like you say, in AC Milan, you'd think that he would be playing more game time there. It'd just be interesting because I feel like it creates a problem for ourselves if we get rid of Kyle Walker. I feel like we're creating an issue there that doesn't need to be created. I feel like because how good Kyle Walker is, if you get rid of him, then you're gonna have to replace him.
Well, exactly. And there's already there's a lot of work that already needs to go on this summer. If we look at sort of what we need, we're gonna have to sign a centre back because Laporte's going. We should probably still sign a left back, even though we don't really play with full backs. We should probably still sign one. You're gonna have to get two midfielders.
Because Gundogan and Bernardo could be gone.
Yeah, probably. You're gonna have to, in my opinion, get a winger as well. So do you really want to be adding another fullback on that? Do you know what I mean? I just think,
and as well, look at the outgoings. You've got Laporte, who's been here for quite a bit now, who'd be leaving. You've got Gundogan, who's been here since Pep's been here. You've got Bernardo Silva, who's been here for ages. These are all experienced players in the side who know Pep's system and know how this team works. And then you're throwing Kyle Walker in there as well, who's been here for ages, and also a part of the captain's leadership group. And I feel like there's a lot of experience exiting the team for new blood. And I feel like all that to happen in one window, I feel like that's heavy, that. I feel like we will lose something there. There'll be something that is missing from the side, letting all that experience go. And quite frankly, I don't think we need to get rid of Kyle Walker. If he doesn't want to go, like, bro, I'd be offering him a new contract personally.
Well, I think I would as well. I'd probably do a 1 or 2 year extension. I don't see Kyle Walker, falling off. You know what I mean? Just because he's 33, 34. I think this guy will play till he could play till he's 38, 39. He's in such good physical condition. Especially if he stays at City, where we don't really ask him to bomb up and down the wings. He's more of a defensive fullback at Manchester City. Then I think he could play for another 5-6 years at the very top level. Now, if he goes to a different club and he's asked to bomb up and down the wings, then maybe that extra effort, that extra work, them extra sprints will take its toll on his body a little bit quicker, and he might only have limit like maybe 3 years or whatever. But the way he plays, I mean, he doesn't really. He's not one of them players who's like running up and down the pitch for Manchester City. Obviously, depending on the game, like we've seen against Sheffield United, he was, but that's because we played Sheffield United. Any Premier League game, he rarely gets up the pitch. He usually just stays in a sort of halfway line sort of position, just keeping everything ticking over. I don't think he could play for years. I really, really do. So, look, if he wants to go, then as Manchester City have said for a long time, they're never going to stand in the player's way. Bring us the bid and he can go. And as I said, because he's only got a year left on his contract, he's going to be 33 years old. I think there'll be a lot of clubs out there. I still think, in my honest opinion, he's probably a £30 million player, even though he's 33 years old.
Yeah, I'd put 30 million on him, yeah.
I think anything less than that, and I think that is a bargain because, like I say, I honestly believe that Kyle Walker will play until like 38, 39. He's got such good physical condition. He's probably the best defensive right back in world football. He's got so much experience. He's part of the captain's team. 30 million quid. I mean, we spent 50 million on him, 7 years ago? Yeah. So that's a decent return. It really is. But do you want that return or would you rather keep him? I don't know. I'm going to do a poll in the chat.
I'd rather keep him, to be honest. I think I did see people before. Rio with a 698 says, Theo Hernandez for Kyle Walker. We'd have to probably give Kyle Walker in cash for Theo Hernandez. I think that's the only way that I'd probably work, especially with Kyle Walker being a lot older. Off Meta Professor with a 2 says Rice could offer the same role as Stone's centre back to CDM. Yeah, we spoke about this the other week actually. Last week we did a stream, one of the morning streams, I think it was. We're speaking about whether City should go. Well, City should go in for Declan Rice. There are rumours popping up again about that. And yeah, that is something that can happen. Rice can basically just do the reverse of what Stones is doing. As Stones is going centre back to CDM, Rice would do the opposite way around, CDM centre back. And we know that from people in the chat that Rice has played in centre back roles before. So it is something that probably the club will be looking at, especially with Calvin Phillips not being ready yet.
Yeah, I just think he's destined for Arsenal.
Yeah, same. Declan Rice does not sound like a City player. It does not sound like it's going to be a City signing. I think if Rice if Phillips isn't a part of that deal, then it will be cash. Qued Ram or Qued Ram with a 3 says Kyle deserves to retire at this club. I'd love it if Kyle retired at this club. I think he does want to go back to Sheffield at some point, but I'd love it if he retired at City. I love it if he stayed here, retired at City, because I think he's incredible, and I think he's been mint for us. It's one of the last people I want to see leave is Kyle Walker. He's sick. The important thing is though, he's still sick. Like we're not talking about a player now who's fading and like who's falling off. Like Lewis says there, I don't see him falling off. Like there was a little bit of injury concerns because I think this is why he's in such good physical condition, is because that he rarely gets injured. He's been fit for most years, like all the way throughout every season, and we play a lot of football, and he doesn't really get that injured. So I feel like now that it's come to, he's 32, he's not feeling the effects of those injuries going forward. He is picking up more injuries here and now nowadays, but I feel like that's why he's in such good physical condition. So I think he can continue for a lot longer than what other players who have a lot of injuries when they're younger and going up.
Well, he's 30. He's 30. Let's just call it 33 because he's basically 33 in a couple of days, or a couple of weeks. He's had 13 injuries in his career. It's really not that bad for a 33-year-old, especially 13. Because you got to remember as well, when he was at Spurs, he played a different role to Manchester City. He used to go up and down the wings, and you know his most serious injuries. He had a groin injury back in 2014, 100 days. He had groin surgery in 2014, 100 days. And then after that, you're looking at a 50-day for an ankle injury back in 2015. His worst injury at Manchester City was a groin injury last year.
That was the
45,
one. Yeah. Was that the
45 days? Yeah. So is like I say, like his physical condition is very, very good. So yeah, let's have a look at the poll, because we put a poll in the chat here. In fact, I'll come to it in a sec because we only had 100 votes. There's 300 people in the chat. So have your vote in the poll, guys. We'll come to that in a second because there's still, like I say, there's still quite a lot of people that haven't had their say on the poll there. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just think if he wants to go, fairs. But if he doesn't, if he's not asked, I'd be offering him a new deal.
Yeah, if I was City, I wouldn't be leaning towards leaving. I wouldn't be looking at a situation where I don't know to get rid of him. It's not a thing. If I was City, I'd prefer him to stay. I think, like I say, it all depends on what he wants. But I don't think he wants to go. But we don't know, innit? We don't know. Yeah, maybe he's looking at it and going, like longevity wise, and going, I've not really played that much football this year. Is it time to go now? And
as well, bro, if he believes himself that I believe that he will play until he's 38, maybe he's not ready to take a drop in minutes because he's like, nah, that where normal players would see a drop in minutes at 32, 33, I'm not a normal player. I'm in mint physical condition. I want to see that drop in minutes when I'm 36.
Yeah, later on.
Because I still think I've got a lot to offer, which he does, to be fair. So, you know, you have to take that into consideration. Let's have a look at the poll then. We've had a few more votes coming. So the options were let him go on a free next year, sell him this summer, or offer him a new contract. Now, over half of the people in this stream believe that City should offer him a new contract. And then the rest is pretty split. In fact, it is exactly even. So, yeah, 25% of you guys think we should let him go for a free next season. So just keep him for one more year. Maybe they voted that because they think give Rico Lewis some more minutes next season, but still have Kyle Walker there, and you can still pick up, like, you can still learn off Kyle Walker, and then maybe the year after Rico Lewis will be ready to be sent. Either that, or the other option maybe is that they just think that maybe we have too much transfer business to do this summer. Like you were saying earlier on, is it worth putting ourselves in a position where we have to go into a market to get someone else when we've already got to sign all these other players?
Yeah.
And of course, some people are just like, nah, sell him this summer. 25% of people in the chat say sell him this summer. Yeah, again, could be reasons for that. Maybe they want to sign a replacement this summer. They might be looking at the fee that we could get if they agree with me and you that we could still command a fee of, I think, 30 million quid for this guy. Maybe that is insane business based on the fact we signed him 7 years ago for 50 million and you've only lost 20 million.
Oh yeah,
everything that he's given us.
Off. Yeah, it is good
that is incredible. So maybe they're like, nah, they're business minded, innit, and thinking of the cash.
It is a mad one that I didn't expect it to be this close. Really, like only 50% of people wanting to offer a new contract. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I probably thought it would have been about 60, maybe a little, not way higher, but maybe I thought maybe 60% of people in the chat would have said offer him a new contract. In fact, guys, let us know in the chat or use a free member chat or something, you know what I mean? So let us know in the chat like why you voted for what you voted, because I'm interested to see what the reasons are. Big up to the Irish LB coming in with the 5. Says Kyle Walker is great, but his main attribute is pace. If he didn't have pace, he'd be an Everton centre back. He's great defensively, but I'd hand him a 1-year contract. That is true, but he does have the pace, so it is what it is.
The pace isn't gone.
Yeah, and I probably agree with the 1-year deal.
I agree with that. I think offering him a 1-year extension is good, and then you can reassess.
It keeps him here till he's 35.
And plus, if you offer him a 1-year extension, right? He can look at it. Say like he has a 1-year extension, he can look at it after a bit and go like after another year or whatever of a season and go, right, let me assess my minutes again this year, see what's happened, and see if he's still happy with the amount of game time that he's getting, or then he feels like he wants to leave. Do you know what I mean? Then he might be like, right, okay, I've secured the City have secured me down with this extra year, but you know what I mean. I think it's time for me to go now, rather than just letting his contract run out now. But like I say, he's in a weird position because of the system that we're now playing. Okay, that's the only thing in my head where I can see it maybe affecting him, because he's seen the drop in minutes this season. Now we might play this for the foreseeable, so he might be like, I don't like this idea of playing this system for the foreseeable future because I'm seemingly not involved in this system. Like, because he's in that system, but he's not a starter in it. He's not. So
no, he's not, because of course we don't play with if we do play with the right back, it will be an inverted, and he can't play the inverted role, as Pep Guardiola's already said, and we've all seen with our own eyes. I still believe he could play the Akanji role. I still think he can play the Akanji role, and we've seen against Sheffield United, getting the ball forward, he can do it. For me, the problem with Kyle Walker is maybe when he receives the ball, maybe it's his body positioning, because what you got to remember is he receives the ball on the right-hand side. So he's receiving the ball. Yeah, the ball's coming to him probably from this direction. And he needs to get the ball from here to go that direction, right? Because obviously he's receiving the ball and then he needs to go that way.
Yeah.
The problem is, because he has no left foot, that means he has to get the ball and he has to then turn on it. Whereas Akanji can play the ball with his left foot. So he can receive the ball like that and then go that way. Go across the pitch and then try and get a ball off with his left. Kyle Walker can't do that. So what that means is that if the opposition, when Kyle Walker's receiving the ball, goes to the wing and pushes him from the wing, Kyle Walker then it forces onto his left. He then has to go backwards, and I think that's one of the problems that he has, is that he can't progress the ball up the football pitch as good as Akanji because he's reluctant to use his left foot. So maybe a solution there could be, well, just tell Kyle Walker to drop 5 yards. You know what I mean? Tell Kyle Walker to drop 5 yards. So then if someone is going to press in, they've got to press further, and that gives Kyle Walker more time to turn. Big up to Erkan with a 4, says, I think we should evaluate how well he plays next season and then let him go or get 1 more year. Yeah, potentially is an option. You know, that obviously, you know, a quarter of people in the chat, or just over a quarter of people in the chat, saying keep him for this year and let him go on a free next year. I kind of understand them all, to be honest with you, because obviously we still have Rico Lewis. I've seen a lot of people in the chat saying now Rico Lewis is going to be the guy next year, but he still is very young. He still has a lot of growth to do. And having Kyle Walker around for that extra year would probably be very, very useful for him and for us as a club. And then you can let Kyle Walker go next summer. And then the season of 2024, 2025, obviously 2 seasons away, Rico Lewis is like, boom, right, now it's your time. Yeah, you've had 2 years of development. Now it's your time. I understand why people want to sell him this season because you would get good cash. And like I say, selling a player for 30 million when you sign him for 50 million 7 years ago and he's played so well for the football club, that's incredible business. I understand why people might want to go for that. And of course, the new contract thing, which is actually dropped now below 50% of people in the chat, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's mad. I didn't think that.
Yeah, I mean, the letting him go for a free is starting to creep up. It's starting to creep. Almost a third of people. We're getting to almost a third of people in the stream say let him go for a free next season.
I wonder if Kyle's more, and maybe City are in the same position of like we're thinking he won't get 2 minutes. Maybe Kyle's thinking he won't get 2 minutes. Maybe City are like, do we need Kyle Walker? Do we need to give him a new contract? And they might be thinking, you know what? Probably not yet. We can do what we're doing with Gundogan. Leave it until he's in his last year. And wait and see how next season goes. See what minutes he gets next season. If he plays more football next year and we need him more, then maybe put a contract on the table for him then. Basically not rush into it, kind of just like relax on it. And then Kyle Walker might be thinking the exact same thing. He might be like, I'm going to wait until my last year. Or maybe, but then Man City might just be like, if he's willing to wait until his last year, why not just sell him? But yeah, maybe it's just something that they're all kind of, let's just keep an eye on it and let's just see how it goes rather than let's look to sell him, because I don't know. I just feel like it puts us in a bad position selling him. I don't understand why I would do that. Like it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Unless like you say, unless he wants to go.
Yeah.
Which it's difficult, man.
It is. But if you look at his game time since he come back from his injury in the Premier League, especially, it's actually been pretty good, bro. So since he come back from his injury, right, he had 2 games on the bench, Leeds and Everton, and then he played 45 minutes against Chelsea, played the full 90 against United, 7 minutes against Tottenham, 90 minutes against Tottenham, 90 minutes against Villa, 90 against Arsenal, 90 against Forest, 10 against Bournemouth, 90 against Newcastle, 1 minute against Palace, 34 minutes against Southampton, 90 minutes against Leicester.
Yes,
and bro, before the injury, start of the season, 90 minutes against West Ham, 82 minutes against Bournemouth, 90 minutes against Newcastle, 90 minutes against Palace, 90 against Forest, 80 against Villa, 41 against United.
Didn't you say? I thought his number was like similar to Laporte. Or is this what Laporte?
They are.
That's weird.
They are similar to Laporte.
It's a myth, this, isn't it? It's a myth. They're all playing a decent amount of football.
He's played minutes.
What are they crying for? You get enough game time.
He's just obviously missed a chunk of football, didn't he, in the sort of winter period? But other than that, he's still playing a lot of football for us.
Yeah.
Where does this myth come from that he doesn't play football? He does. He plays loads of football, man.
That's pretty mad.
He played the full 90 in the Community Shield. He played 90 against Chelsea in the FA Cup, 30 against Arsenal in the FA Cup. Didn't play against Bristol City. Played 90 against Burnley, 90 against Sheffield United.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I think
The hell?
maybe it's not like he doesn't play a lot. Maybe it's more there's just a drop. Like a little bit of a drop in it. So it might be like, oh, that's a concerning sign.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to just wait and see what.
He's still playing for England as well, bro.
Yeah,
plays every game for England.
Yeah. Like I personally don't think he wants to go. I don't think he does want to go. But it's all whether City want to offer him a new contract or not. Like say Martin Blackburn coming out and saying that there's no contract as of yet. But then that could just be City being relaxed with the situation. They might just be confident that Kyle Walker will sign the new deal. They might just be relaxed and absolutely chill on it and just be like, yeah, we don't need to offer him a new contract yet.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting. Big up to Wan with the 2. Says keeping Kyle will be good for Rico's development. I agree. And this is something, I remember saying this in the video that we did on Kyle Walker a few weeks back, in that I don't know if he is, but I really, really hope that Kyle Walker is kind of taking Rico Lewis under his wing and sort of like helping develop him. Especially, obviously, you can't really do that in terms of on the ball and inverting because he can't do that. But especially like defensively, passing on that experience, I think that would be amazing and an amazing legacy for Kyle Walker. You know, imagine if Rico Lewis becomes like a mainstay in Manchester City's team and then says, yeah, Kyle Walker like really helped develop me as a player. Like Kyle Walker would then have like this legacy in the game of Rico Lewis. Like that would be insane for him personally. But I don't know if he is doing that. I hope he is. Obviously, you don't have to do it. I mean, he doesn't have to take him under his wing, but he's part of the captain's team. So I would like to.
You'd imagine he would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to end the poll there because we've had quite a lot of votes. So the final score then on the poll, what would you do with Kyle Walker? 42% of people say offer him a new contract. 30% of people say keep him this year, but then let him go on a free transfer when his contract runs out at the end of next season. And 26% of people say sell him this summer. So very split.
It is very
split. And I'm a little bit surprised at that. I thought more people would have said offer him a new contract.
Same. I thought people would just be like straight away contract. Because I think I'd offer him a new contract personally. I think that's the way I'd go with it. I think he's still got a lot to offer us. Cameron says, "Nah, he's done." He's not done.
I don't think
he's just not done.
I don't think he's done. I don't think he's.
It's just not. It's just not facts, isn't it? It's just not facts.
No, I don't.
Pace is gone. His pace is not gone.
I've not seen anything to suggest his pace
is gone. There's the only thing that people would say to suggest that his pace is gone is when he first came back from his injury.
Yeah.
But you think man's going to be running at 100% when he just comes back from his injury? That's not a thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to suggest that his pace is gone.
Yeah. No, I agree. Right. Well, there you go then.
Quick one.
Interested. Yep.
Gabby Vega, bro, that guy, apparently he played the other day and people watched him and apparently he was sick. Played the other day. I think he's in the Spanish league.
Yeah, Celta Vigo.
Yeah, I think they played Barcelona the other day and apparently he slammed it. Yeah, so that's an interesting one to keep our eye on. And for people in the chat asking about Nathan Ake, I don't know about you, bro. I've not seen anything.
Nope, still not had anything. He had a scan on Saturday. So, I mean, we've still not heard about that. So, we'll have to wait and see.
I know on the City app, you can look at players and it comes up with the injuries on the players. I'm not sure how the app works or anything like that. But it says mid-May on the app on his profile. Brilliant. But I don't know if that's like I doubt that's an official thing.
I mean, we pretty much know that he'll be out against Arsenal because
that's it. It just seems a very quick turnaround to be back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Saliba's out as well. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Right, cool. Well, there you go, guys. Kyle Walker ain't looking good, Brev. We'll have to wait and see what happens on this one, but it's not looking good. If you're a fan of Kyle Walker, want him to stay, big sources coming out saying City are not offering a new contract right now, and the AC Milan are in for Kyle Walker. So we'll see what happens on this one. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.